Hey guys, today we are talking about mods. This is a thing that I wanted to talk about for a while because I have noticed, I can tell when I'm playing with players in game that are on PC, because you can see whether people are PC or console, and these PC players don't have mods. And I just think that's a shame because in order to play at the highest level, you want mods. I guarantee no matter how good you think you are, mods will actually make you play significantly better. I'm not talking about like a 1% improvement. I'm talking about it will alter the way you play the game because you will have better visibility and better information. So let's go through this step by step how you would get started putting mods in your game. The first step is you want to go to Nexus Mods. And I just usually just search Darktide Nexus Mods. You can see the URL up here. And then the two mods you will need to get started are Darktide Mod Loader and Darktide Mod Framework. So these two, if you search by most popular or most downloaded, they will be at the top because every other mod requires these two to work. So you will come down here to Files. It'll start you on the description page, and you'll go to Files. And then right here, you'll use manual download. You can, for other types of mods, use Vortex, which is their Nexus Mods proprietary software that does it for you. I have a lot of issues doing that, so I would recommend against using Vortex. So we'll hit manual download. I've already actually done this, but let's do it again. Slow download, because we are a cheap plebeian. We do not have a subscription to Nexus Mods. That's fine. And then once it pops up here, we're going to open it. Now, what you should know is that this is a zip file. So if you try to drag this straight into your directory, you're going to have some issues. Now, where is this going? Let's find out. Close out all these various things here. So in order to find the file that this is going in, we're going to go to our game, Darktide. I hope you're playing that game. Otherwise, this is kind of a weird video to be watching. We're going to browse local files, manage browse local files. Once we're here, you are not going to have the same list as I do because I've already done this. But in order to figure out what to do, let's close that out. In order to figure out what to do, you're going to use the information that's in the Darktide Mod Loader. So once you've opened up that directory, you're going to click on the README. And the README is going to tell you exactly how to install it. We're going to copy all the files into our game directory, which is what we just opened up. And then we're going to override existing. And then we're going to run the batch file that it drops in there, toggle Darktide mods. And then we have to have that second mod, the Darktide Mod Framework. So let's go ahead and do those first two steps. So we would have this open. We would have that open. I think this is right. Yeah, so we would take all of these and we would copy them to here. Now I'm not going to do this because it's going to fuck with the mods that I already have. We would copy them over to here. And then you would have this empty mods folder. So once you go into the mods folder, this is where you would drop in that Darktide Mod Framework. Now remember, before you do anything like dragging all that over, we're going to extract all, and we want to just extract it to the download. So now this is not a zip file anymore. We can go ahead and drag it over here and drop it in. And then we would have to go back to our web page. Oops. I know that I'm just not the most skilled at navigating my many tabs here. I'm trying to do this all in one window. It's difficult. So then we'll need Darktide Mod Framework, and that is going to be the first mod that we put into our titular mods folder. This one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and start closing these tabs out. Okay. All right. So it would go in this mods folder right here. And so you wouldn't have this huge ass list. You would have simply DMF and a folder called mod load order, or a text file called mod load order. All right. And once you've got that, you're pretty much set up. You do want to make sure that you come back to this main thing here and click toggle Darktide mods. For you, it will not say it's already patched. Would you like to remove the patch? It will say, all right, now Darktide is patched to load mods. Anytime there's an update to Darktide, no matter how small, if it's a hot fix or something where they, praise be, actually give us some content, you will need to come back in here and click this toggle Darktide's mods thing to turn the mods back on. All right, so going back to our mods folder, you won't have all these mods, you'll just have 2, but let's go ahead and install a mod and show you how it works. I found a mod just by searching by newest. This is guaranteed weapon swap. This is something I actually really want, so I'm gonna, for real, install it. If you haven't had this problem before, sometimes the game will get confused because you'll throw Q or you'll scroll when you're meleeing or you're shooting, and the game will override the choice to switch weapons by just shooting more. So oftentimes when I'm playing Zealot and I'm going full auto with my SMG, I'll need to swap to my melee, and I'll press Q to swap, and then I'll left click to swing the weapon, but it'll overwrite that swap function, and I'll still be shooting instead of swinging my weapon. So this hopefully will fix that issue. So I'm going to go manual download. It wants me to have those 2 mods. Good, we just did that. We're going to download, slow download. And then we wait a little bit. Woohoo. All right, it pops up here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to extract all. Okay. And there is our extracted folder. So this weapon, or this weapon, this is going to act as a weapon because it's going to help me kill my enemies. So this right here, we just drag it over to our mods folder. And there it goes. Now you're not quite done yet, because in order to get this mod to load, we need to scroll down to the bottom of our list, and we need to go to mod load order. And this is as simple as just typing the name of the mod, which is, there it is, guarantee weapon swap, in this list. So we will type guarantee underscore weapon underscore swap. Okay. And then we will come up here and click save. So there we go. Provided I didn't fuck that up in some way that I haven't foreseen yet, that will load up when we load the game. Before we do that, let's talk about some other mods that I think are really, really good to have. I'm going to do that just from this page right here. I think I can remember what most of these do. In order to install all these, what I did is I went to most popular mods for Darktide, and I just looked through every single one, opened a million tabs. You're welcome to do that, but let me give you some recommendations as far as what I like. AFK. AFK extends the timer and before the game kicks you back to the character selection menu. I got really tired of it being 5 minutes because a lot of times I go AFK in the Morningstar. Animation events is a mandatory mod. It's another one like Darktide Mod Framework that you'll need to have for certain other mods to work. Better Milk. I believe this allows you to see his missions when you're inside a mission, and you don't have to go to him to claim your tokens once you've completed them. Buy until rating. This is a thing I would not recommend doing right now unless you're really intent on rolling weapons before the update comes out later this summer. But this lets you spam buy weapons, draining your money until you get one that is a certain power level. Chat block. This is a feature that Vermintide 2 had. If you press escape and you have the menu up or you're typing, your character will block. So you can put yourself in a corner and block. Creature spawner allows you to spawn and turn on the AI within the Psychanium so you can fight enemies and sort of test your builds out before going into maps. I don't remember what this one does, so skipping it. Decode Helper highlights the selections on the little hacking mini game for each of the 4 levels as you go down, so you won't have to guess where it's going to be next. You can see which one is coming up. It allows you to predict it better. Disable screen effects. This can get rid of a lot of really annoying screen effects. I hated playing Psyker and having like the blurring around the edge of the screen. It makes it hard to see. Shocker. So I turned that off. You can turn on or turn off any effect, including effects from your allies. So that's really cool. This is the one I just installed. Health bars. This is novel. You can see the enemy's health. Now, this is probably my favorite mod on this whole list. Maybe first or second place. This mod allows you to see the health of the enemies. As soon as you damage them, a health bar appears over the head, and you can choose which enemies you want this to apply to. You could apply it to literally every enemy in the game, so that every tiny little shitty enemy has a health bar. I don't think that's necessary. I have it applied to everything elites and up. And you can tell the difference between players that have health bars enabled and don't, because health bar players, they can see when a crusher is one hit away from going down, and they play aggressively. They target that crusher to get him out of there because they've only got one shot left where they're dead. A non-health bar player has no idea how much health that crusher has left, and they treat them as if they're a full health crusher. And so this is going to improve your gameplay. It'll also let you know, immediately whether or not, sometimes like elites have kind of slow death animations, and it'll let you know right away, is he dead yet? No, he still isn't hitting him. And you'll put that hit in and no more. You won't ever be hitting enemies after they're dead anymore. You'll know when they're dead. Hub hotkey menus. This is a feature they had in Vermintide as well. But for instance, I can just press M when I'm in the Morningstar and it brings up the mission map. I don't have to move at all. So that's really nice. Inspect from social. Sometimes you play with somebody and you want to see what their gear was. You can go into the social menu after the game, after you've already split up, and cyberstalk them and inspect the operative and see what gear they have. Kill feed improvements. This, instead of having that big long chain that rolls over of like NG killed Mauler, NG killed Mauler, NG killed Mauler, it'll say NG killed Mauler times 6. And so it condenses it and makes it much easier to see. This allows you to favorite weapons. This removes the red skull that appears over enemies that you tag. This is for better visibility when you're shooting. Numeric UI is another really, really high tier, almost definitely important to have, because instead of having just a bar for your enemy, for your allies' health, you have numbers. You know exactly how much health they have. So you can apportion resources appropriately. This is the scoreboard. This one and this one right here. Scoreboard is the default scoreboard. This one adds a few other stat factors that I like to check. So if you watched one of my videos before and watched all the way to the end, hello, the sad few of you that have done that, you've seen that I have a scoreboard like there was in Vermintide 2. It was a big issue for a lot of people that Darktide did not have a scoreboard and there was no plans to add it because they thought it would make players toxic. Am I toxic? I don't like to think so, but I do like to see how well I was performing with my different builds in games. And so this is going to let you see how much damage you take, how many enemies you killed. Yeah. Player outlines. It's what it is. It allows you to have better visibility on where your allies are so that you're not losing them. Because the default player outlines are like a very thin kind of like energy skeleton that you can barely see through walls and through hordes. This will let you know exactly where your allies are, which is really important for positioning. This shows you all the blessings that are available for weapons. So instead of having to go to that website and figure out like, God, what blessings are available to even roll on this thing, you can just check it at Hadron. Okay. Show crit chance. If you watched one of the videos before, you've seen it. It's right under my reticle. It's a big red percentage number that shows how likely I am to crit. I use this to figure out if I'm about to give a guaranteed crit when I'm aiming down the sights with my revolver. It also figures, when I'm stacking up with meleeing as a Zealot 2. This allows you to right-click your talent tree and remove everything below it. So instead of having to go through and unclick every single node on a whole 30-point talent tree, you can just clear them all out at once. This is just a dependency for another mod. This lets you see how many levels, because if you don't have this mod, everyone disappears as level 30 if they're level 30 and above. But if you do have this mod, you can see how many level equivalencies they would have. I've seen people that have over 2,000 levels. Dear God, the amount of commitment to play this game that much. That is really impressive. The UI extension is something that a lot of mods depend on. Volley fire timer. This gives me a bar on the middle of my screen to show how long my executioner's stance still has when I'm playing veteran. So I know when I need to make that next shot by. And it gives me an overall good job. Your executioner's stance lasted for 34 seconds. Weapon customization is another really great mod. It allows you to add things like red dot sights and flashlights to different range weapons. It can alter the appearance of your primary weapon too. My only complaint with it is it seems like there is an issue where if you have any custom skins, you can't use them at the same time. It kind of breaks them. There is a bit of downside there. And then finally, Who Are You allows you to see the Steam names or the social, whatever you call them, Xbox Live names of the players you are in the game with, not just their character name. So there you go. That's a rundown of the mods that I would recommend. There are a lot. There's like 300 mods you can choose from. I would browse by most popular and see what agrees with you. But let's go ahead and load into a game and see if this is working. All right. There's even mods to remove this screen and just go ahead and log you in. So if you were tired of pressing space here and waiting for this to load, it will work. All right, we'll start. Oh, I believe one of those was called Dark Cache that I skipped over. I said I didn't know what it did, and that improves your loading times. Okay, so in order to check on our mods, we will hit escape, and you can see we got our new option here, mod options. And this just gives us options for every mod that we can alter right now. So there's lots and lots. For every mod you download, they usually have their own sort of thing. So Scoreboard, this is all the options that can show up on your scoreboard, health bars, that sort of stuff. So this is where you will tweak the various things with your mods. And up here, you can turn on and turn off mods. Unfortunately, some of these require a reload. So things like animation events, these are cooked into the game. So once you've got them on, in order to turn them off, you will have to go back to your mod load order. So for instance, weapon customization. Sometimes when I'm playing Zealot and I want to see my weapons that I paid Aquilas for, I need to remove this and I just save it again. And then the next time I want to load in and I want to play as Veteran and I want to have the red dot sight on my revolver, then I will add it back in. So that's how you do that. I can't think if I'm missing anything else, but I think that is a good explanation of mods and their utility in the game. Sometimes you'll throw a little error over there on the left side. That usually means it's time to look and see if there's a new version available on Nexus Mods. We just had an update, so there's going to be a few errors like that. And I will give a bit of a warning that your game will crash a little bit more with mods than it already does, because occasionally they will throw errors. That's getting fixed over time, but hey, you're a Darktide player ostensibly, so you're probably very used to your game crashing by now. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys next time.